On New Year's Eve, if you start Avengers Endgame at exactly 9:29:30 p.m., Tony Stark will snap his fingers and say, "I am Iron Man" at exactly midnight, starting the new year. On New Year's Eve, if you start Oppenheimer at exactly 10:04:13 p.m., the Trinity test will explode at midnight. On New Year's Eve, if you start Avengers Infinity War at exactly 9:48:52 p.m., Thanos will snap his fingers at midnight, ending 2023. If you start watching Iron Man 3 at exactly 11:55:50 p.m. on New Year's Eve, the clock in the real world will hit midnight at exactly the same time as it does in the movie. So you can celebrate the new year with Tony Stark. Or if you really want to ring in an epic new year, start Avengers Endgame at 9:41:34 p.m. And Captain America will yell "Avengers Assemble" just as the clock strikes 12. Moving on, if you start The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring at 9:51:30 p.m., the clock will strike midnight just as Gandalf says, "You shall not pass." You can also start the theatrical version of The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers at 9:46:22 p.m. to start the new year with Theoden's legendary line, "So it begins." On New Year's Eve, if you start Star Wars A New Hope at exactly 10:02:42 p.m., you can watch the Death Star explode right at midnight. If you start Star Wars Revenge of the Sith on New Year's Eve at 11:56:12 p.m., Anakin will say, "This is where the fun begins" at midnight. And if you start Star Wars Revenge of the Sith at 11:02:48 p.m., Obi-Wan Kenobi will say "Hello there" exactly at midnight to ring in the new year. On New Year's Eve, if you start The Great Gatsby movie at 11:29:57 p.m., Gatsby will toast you into the new year. If you play the SpongeBob SquarePants movie at exactly 10:47:48 p.m. on New Year's Eve, SpongeBob will rock out to "I'm a Goofy Goober" at midnight. And if you start watching Back to the Future at exactly 10:19:08 p.m. on New Year's Eve, Marty will travel back to the future as the clock strikes midnight.